All right, everybody, sorry about that. That story started repeating there. I'm going to take you out to Los Angeles now. We do believe there's Skyfox is over the scene of some breaking news. We are waiting to get some more information, but Skyfox could be over some breaking news in the Los Angeles area. We're going to hang out with them for just a bit.
This is a Fox 10 News Alert.
All right, everybody, we officially have a police chase. I'm hearing this is East Los Angeles, California. Fox LA Skyfox over the scene, but this is officially a police chase, and it's dangerous. So viewer discretion is advised. You've seen that vehicle there driving on the wrong way of the road several times already, being very, very unsafe. We're watching it all unfold live right here on News Now.
This vehicle continued to make these crazy moves out here. Looks like we've just made a southbound turn on Amelia out here, and it's going to be near Scott. You can see this car just zigzagging around out here. Don't know if he knows this area, but maybe he's just grabbing every little street that he can. Looking up at us, it almost appears to be a female driver. I'm just grabbing kind of a look right there. I don't know, maybe you guys can see it a little bit better, but extremely radical moves out here, wrong side of the road, weaving in and out, back onto a major. This is going to be Florence, eastbound Florence. Now the ground crews, meaning the guys on the ground, the sheriff's department, the black and whites, they've actually backed off, and you can see why. I couldn't even fathom a ground unit keeping up or staying with this vehicle. The helicopter above making all the calls right now. I can tell you they might not be right behind them, but I can tell you they are going to be.
And then found that it was an attempted robbery with a gun. So in pursuit, the East LA Sheriff's deputies are now in pursuit, although we haven't seen their patrol vehicles in the last few minutes since we've been watching this.
And sometimes what we will see if a driver is driving so dangerously that it's creating so much problems for people in the community that the deputies will pull back a little bit so as not to endanger the community anymore, and they use some of their helicopters and then frankly use some of our helicopters as well to help keep an eye on that suspect, and then they're sort of near. So you see some of them trailing there. They're not right on top of it, but I did just see it looked to be a cruiser from one of the sheriff's officers who's following.
So looking at our Skyfox technology, you're seeing speeds upward of 70 miles per hour and then crossing the double lines. This is makes you nervous just to watch this, weaving in and out of traffic. It's rush hour right now. Of course, these unsuspecting drivers have no idea what's coming up behind them. On that wider shot, you saw this is right near a golf course and clearly on the wrong side of the road as we stay extremely tight, so it's hard to see what is coming next.
But we've seen that driver already in the couple minutes that we've been following him, driving over 67 miles an hour on side streets, which is so dangerous in itself. We've seen that wrong side of the road right now going on the middle section. This is the kind of driving where crashes happen. And this is very, very dangerous for people that are in that area right now. If you have friends that are driving, family members driving in this particular neighborhood right now, maybe give them a heads up to beware, because this driver could be essentially coming out of nowhere.
Sure. An attempted robbery suspect is last word from the sheriff's department with a gun. So you have to then imagine, in which they always do, that the suspect, they have to go with the thought that the suspect is armed as well. So armed and dangerous, driving dangerously, making it through this latest intersection. Again, this is the city of Commerce at last check. Looks like more wide open lanes here, making a right turn.
Ooh.
Yep, another close call.
Yeah, I mean, this person has driven right up to cars, possibly damaging cars during the side swipes. Really no regard at all for any of the rules of the road, anybody that's at all in this person's path. And you feel for all these drivers who are on the road and just to have sort of no sense of what's coming.
Looks like he's now wedged at this.
Wedged, and looks like something's out, his hands are out the window.
And he's certainly not, so there's a passenger, at least one passenger, it looks like, in this vehicle.
Now we're going up onto the sidewalk. Oh, you wonder if that passenger is somebody who is a sort of co-conspirator in all this,
Sure.
or if it's somebody that may be held against their will.
So once again, because we are keeping a tighter shot on this, it's hard to see exactly where the deputies trailing are. But as Alex was remarking earlier, that when it gets this dangerous, often deputies will pull back and they go into tracking mode so as to keep the public safe as they possibly can in a situation like this.
And we just saw one of the sheriff's department's helicopters for a second underneath there as they try to follow this person by air as well.
Oh, it looks like they just threw out maybe some cans or something outside the window there. Now they're in an alleyway. There's a passenger we just saw on that tight shot, and we're still sticking with the alleyway here.
So now you're getting a sense we are in the Bell Gardens area. Our technology is showing you where exactly this is in terms of the streets on Eastern Avenue in the Bell Gardens area. If you know folks in this neighborhood, give them a heads up that this could be coming. I mean, this is very close to people's homes as they are beginning to get home from work. You just saw somebody on either a motorcycle or a scooter and now turning once again.
So we picked this pursuit up about 20 minutes ago is when we got word of it, and officially started in the city of Commerce and now making its way to Bell Gardens. We know that there are at least 2 people in this Lexus sedan, 4-door sedan here. We don't know if the passenger happened to be in the vehicle when the suspect got into it, and maybe it's not related to the crime and being held against his or her will. And we can tell you that authorities understand that this suspect had a gun with the attempted robbery that happened.
And we don't know what that suspect just threw out of that window, because it looked like he threw out something, whether it be a gun, whether it be bottles, whether it be something else. You wonder, I'm sure there was a deputy that would then go behind and try to pick up exactly what that is to give them a better sense of who they are pursuing and what that person had in their vehicle.
So our technology is showing Bell Gardens still. As far as we can tell, this is Shoal Street and Eastern Avenue.
Something else.
There's
and that came out of the passenger side. Something
Right.
else being thrown. You wonder, and something else now being thrown. And now a turn into another alleyway.
slowing down. So they're going to make a run for it.
Here they go. Okay, person gets out. Both of them get out, and now going for a run. You wonder if this is an area that they're familiar with. Oftentimes, pursuit suspects will go to climbing onto the roof of a property.
I believe that is the driver.
Whoa!
Onto the roof.
Where's he going to go?
Yet to be determined. Not a lot of options.
Where can you
there.
go? And
Yes.
now he's being seen by helicopters. Uh-oh. Whoa, jumped onto another spot. Wow, on top of this car. It looked like something out of an action thriller there. And now you see the black and white showing up.
The sheriff's deputy, one of their units now on scene.
Now trying to climb onto another roof.
Yes, the suspect.
And we wonder where the other suspect is, because there were 2 suspects that got out of that vehicle.
He's going to have to climb this wall.
This is going to be quite a climb. You imagine the sheriff's deputies are now communicating with this person.
Right. So making the decision to hop the fence, to climb up this retaining wall, it looks like into some sort of a construction zone.
Doesn't look like anybody's working there. You see the helicopter overhead. This person can hear the helicopter overhead. My guess is the sheriff's department using the megaphone to communicate with this person.
And keep in mind, this is just one of the 2 suspects. So we only have 1 camera, unfortunately. So there is another suspect at large, likely doing the same thing, if not already taken into custody.
You got to wonder, what is this person thinking at this point?
Well,
And you wonder also, is this person potentially on drugs or on something else? Okay, so here, is that the other suspect?
I think it may be
or
the
a
other.
Friend?
I think it's the other suspect. I think that's the passenger. How they ended up in the same spot.
I mean, there is the possibility also that they went to a neighborhood that they're familiar with, and that this could be a buddy that was unrelated to the chase that's potentially trying to help this guy.
So now they're likely discussing the next best move between the 2 of them. At this point, it would appear that this is...
Well, the next best move would be to turn yourself in, because where are these people going to go?
Sure, it's just a matter of time until the deputies find them.
But what the deputies don't know, are they armed? Which might be part of the reason that they're keeping a little bit of distance from them and not going after them, because the deputies could climb up there too.
Sure. And then given the long hair and ponytail, I mean, these days you never, who knows? But I mistakenly was saying that it was a male suspect. It may be a male suspect in the white. It's hard to determine if that's a woman as well. One more time.
Yeah.
So on this tight shot, you have to wonder where the deputies are. They can't be that far away at this point, and the suspect gets officially on the other side, so now there they are.
And hugging what appears to be a man and a woman. And now we go...
In a backyard.
And we don't know if this is their backyard. We don't know if this is the backyard of a friend, or if this is a random person who is home from work or not home from work at 5:15 and has suspects crawling and climbing and jumping all over their property, and multiple news helicopters and sheriff's helicopters.
And now taking cover under this tree. Now this ended specifically at Shoal Street and Eastern Avenue. At last check, were we in? Yes, in the city of Bell Gardens. So this is Bell Gardens at Shoal Street and Eastern Avenue, the closest intersection there.
So now we have a bit of a standoff situation underway in terms of the sheriff's deputies determining what to do next. Clearly, they know where these suspects are. Mm-hmm. I mean, not only are our helicopters blasting these images out, which the sheriff's department are tracking, their helicopter also tracking. So now we see the sheriff's deputies.
As many as 4. Obviously, they're making communication.
Does this presumably man and woman just decide, okay, we've had enough, it's time to give up? You see the hands going up?
Yeah, looks like the hands are up.
Hands are up, because the sheriffs are saying, put your hands up, blasting it, yelling at them. Their hands are up. This is how they can, for their own safety, make sure that they do not have guns in their possession. Because that is the concern for sheriff's deputies approaching these suspects who have acted so erratically all along. Could they be armed in this situation?
Right, this all coming to an abrupt stop down that alleyway after driving recklessly, carelessly through several surface streets from Downey to Bell Gardens to Commerce, ending here in Bell Gardens. And now these suspects, after hopping a few fences, onto a couple roofs, onto some vehicles, and then ending up in this backyard. Here are 4 East LA Sheriff's deputies, as far as we're told, and they're going to make their way to these suspects and I presume put him in handcuffs and take him off.
Does he have his gun out, it looks like? I mean, it was pretty amazing, Marlon, wasn't it, to see that woman jumping from property to property.
She's got some agility.
I mean, that was an impressive feat there to go, especially and to land on top of that car. So now we see another sheriff's deputy. So they are being surrounded in multiple directions. It appears that or at least 2 of these deputies have their guns aimed on them in case they do move towards their waistbands.
And it does look like they're doing, finally, as told, following the deputy's orders. And this is routine to obviously show your hands, keep them up, and let us come to you. And now it's even more deputies on the right now.
From both directions. Right. So there's somebody in the 2 deputies in the construction zone. So they are now being surrounded in 3 different directions by deputies with guns drawn. This is no joke for these 2 as they now we see another approaching right there where that looks like to be artwork is. A couple getting closer. This guy trying to say, yes, our hands are. So by a quick count, probably close to a dozen deputies suddenly. Oh, it looks like SWAT as well, if I'm not mistaken, in the bottom of the screen there. So tense moments here. And now this guy needs to try to push himself up there, but still this entire time. Wow, look at this. Keeping those arms out there, because that's the #1 thing, is to not be able to go towards his waistband. So now they have to. Oh. Ooh, God, that can't feel good. Oof. Well, he's wedged in there pretty good. Yeah. So now they're going to handcuff him. And now it's her turn. Looks like they got him into handcuffs. Hard to tell under the eave there. And then she makes it over okay. Hands behind her head. She made it a lot easier than he did. Oh. Her agility has been impressive this entire time. Well, there it is. I mean, thankfully, given how erratically and dangerous those 2 were driving, that this did not end with a terrible crash somewhere for some innocent person driving. All lives saved. Unfortunately, definitely some damage to some vehicles of some unsuspecting drivers, because in the few minutes that we watched, he definitely sideswiped, or she, if she was behind the wheel, I believe she was, sideswiping a few innocent drivers out there on this Wednesday evening. And we don't know if there was any damage to this property, too, as she was running and jumping from place to place and jumped on top of a car, and, you know, quite a scene here. But now you see right there those suspects being taken into custody, and a neighborhood can breathe a little easier after quite a pursuit. All right, that wraps up our coverage here of the latest pursuit. This one ending at Shoal Street and Eastern Avenue, Bell Gardens. 2 suspects in custody. The original want was a robbery suspect. Another person ended up, both of them, surrendering to deputies. We'll try to get more information about those suspects, especially tonight at 10, but we'll be back with more of the day's news right after this.